away from the F Dorian, but just so we have a chord progression to work with. Okay, let's say I make the sound. Turn off oscillator engine B, although in this case we'll use it. Let's make something more kind of like plucky with a longer release kind of. Not plucky, just kind of fading away. Okay, nice. Let's change, let's use maybe even like a swarm sign, just a tiny bit. Let's add our synth effects kit, because we need it. Oh, the second chord is kind of spicy, huh? We'll see if it works. Let's choose a different filter. Now, we did talk about all these kind of basic filters. We have also filter effects. So EQ is essentially an EQ. Maybe we'll use it later on the EQ peak on a bass, but EQ notch is just going to create one cut. Let's open it up. Let's make it a soft. Okay, so it's a notch filter essentially. We have here a phaser, which I think it's like a 24 pole or something like that, or like an 8 pole. But if I move this, so it's essentially a built-in phaser effect that you just replace the filter with. Okay, it's kind of a phaser combined. It's not even, I don't think there's a filter in here, it's just a phaser. Oh, there is filtering, absolutely. Okay, then we have Redux, which is kind of filter combined with a beat crusher. That's some cool textures here, especially if we bring in some more heavier drums in a second. Should I just save this now because it's crashing every second? Let me go to my hard drive and we'll save it. Call it Meld. And we're gonna load another drum here just for good measurement. Let's see. We actually need something a bit heavier than this, but I might not find it. Would that work? Okay, let's go back here. Nice, Redux. Vowel, it's emulating vowels, kind of like letters and stuff, or vowels, letters. Maybe this is a good time to put some wonder on this, right? Let's let it wander here. Let's go LFOs. I'm going to choose our wonder LFO. And let's just not even expand it. Let's go to our matrix. Click it here. This is more similar to how the wavetable works. Click in it. It's adding that parameter. We're going to take LFO1. LFO1 effects. Maybe we want to do some other stuff to the shape. Let's go back to the LFOs. Right now, it's starting always from the same place. I'm going to turn off the retrigger here. Let's bring the morph up so it's a bit more. Okay, now it's wandering around.
Hey, Yuda.
Yes, please.
So that process that you just went in, so you were just, designing the sound, and was there just a moment in your head that you're just like, hey, I thought that this wander thing might sound good, and is that the process that you just use this to decide that?
Yeah, so I think even Adrian mentioned that. I was playing with my mouse, and I can say, okay, maybe a wobble, maybe like a wobble will be nice. In this case, I thought about randomization. We needed smooth randomization, not this sample and hold. It's stepped randomization. We can also turn this into step. I need smooth randomization. We do have this here. I was remembering this thing. And again, guys, it's important to understand what can we do to this? How can we change it? So LFO will just go like this. Envelope will go over time, up and down, or just stay up. And in this case, we can also randomize this wobbling. Because it's still going up and down, but you can see it here. Right, but it's kind of like random some way. But yeah, my process was just moving the knob, hearing what it's doing. I like the sound that it's doing to it. How can I automate it essentially inside the instrument? I want to kind of embed this behavior, this sound as I play. Oh, go ahead.
I think if that button would actually move,
I know.
that knob would
Absolutely,
be more
absolutely right.
visually helpful.
I just want let's actually do it. Okay, let's move this knob. It's not gonna be with Meld, but if you guys prefer doing that, you can absolutely do that thanks to Ableton Live's 12 new modulation system. We can go modulator. Let's take an LFO. This is almost the same as this. Stray. Okay, here it is. Let's map it. And here we can actually see. So that's range is too much. I'm gonna take this amount down.
There you go.
And let's slow down. Okay, Adrian, absolutely good point. I wish it was more visual, especially as you learn and explore and synthesis. Other synths like Serum, even Wavetable to some extent, are more visual. But at least we have this type of things, like everyone have this LFO that we can use and map it to anything, and that will be more visual. Okay. Sweet. But that, by the way, that is what's happening in the background here. Thank you, Adrian, for pointing it out. Visually, if we use this LFO. Awesome. Okay, let's drive it a tiny bit. And I'm gonna layer another synth on top of it, the engine B. Let's use one of the noises here. Let's turn it down. Maybe a few octaves higher. And we'll filter it. So I'm going to use a low pass filter here, but I also want to use a high pass filter to cut some lows. Nice, and maybe I randomize this. So we can randomize this. We have our dedicated LFO. We don't have to use the one. We can also use right here this LFO2, random sample and hold. Let's say go to the matrix, click on this LFO engine oscillator B macro 1, and let's do LFO2. Let's do it a bit faster. Nice. Maybe we can the noise loop will be, that's kind of cool, but it will be pitched because it's looped. And that's also a lot of cool things that will happen as you start doing this, because we have so many different changes in the engine itself. When you change the engine type, all sorts of crazy stuff can happen, especially when this is on. In this case, it's not. Okay, cool. We got that. Nice. Maybe I would also take tiny bit an LFO on the pitch to create a more of a lo-fi vibe. Let's open up the expanded view, and let's take LFO1 and map it to here the pitch mod. Okay, pitch modulation. We have also pitch quantization or quantized pitch and modulation. And let's do a tiny bit. We're talking here like something like this. Okay. And let's turn off the rhetoric. Now, because only engine B is being pitched mod, I also need to go, pitch modulated. I also need to go to A and do the same, and I'll use the same LFO. So I'm going to use the same LFO from engine B on engine A pitch also. And this one is too high. Let's take it. Okay.
Let let me ask you this.
Yes.
So you you go on both sides on both oscillators, right? To make the change. My question would be, can you just link that LFO to do so basically you make the change in one place and it will change both, or you always have to do what you did?
You always have to do what you did because those are essentially completely separate LFOs. So you have essentially 6 LFOs in this
I see.
synthesizer. So it's just, you can consider it as a separate LFO.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Let's zoom back in because this is too much. Okay, sweet. Awesome. Let's just quickly add a bass line here. And we're gonna, what's our chords here? F. Whoa, where's our bass? We need to filter out the bass a bit more. We have a filter here. Yeah. Guys, I use Ableton for a long time. I love synthesis. I use all the synthesizers. I can tell you, in my opinion, this synth sounds really good considering it's like a built, like just out of the box. It sounds fat. It sounds great. It has a lot of analog qualities. It's very dynamic. I love the sound of it. Okay, I just want to mention that. Let's see our chords. We got F minor, F sharp major, G minor, E major. So I'm just gonna. Oh, wait, the chords are switching too fast. I'm just gonna play something here on my keyboard. Let me open up the keyboard here. Why can't we see? It's too low. Okay, you can see it's just the octave higher. Oh, here I can go here. There we go. Okay, I needed to fix a few notes there. Now, I didn't record, but we do have a capture right here. Okay, so you don't have to hit record. It's always listening to me. Nice, and let's say filter out this. This one. Oh, and then here maybe like we go up in like fifths to the. Yeah, would that work? Okay. Oof, that's. And then. Okay, sweet. Let's say this is our keys. Let's do another one. And in this case, we'll do more kind of like a lead sound. I would recommend as much as you can. And sometimes you're just working on sound individually, like not making music, just working on sounds. But if you have MIDI clips of whatever you're working on, it might be beneficial to first have some sort of a MIDI going on so you can just play it and work on the sound. So let's first, I'm going to play some sort of a melody here, and then we'll design the sound, okay? What's our, okay. Wait. I'm also going to make just a basic, more release here, just so I don't have to put so many notes. Sorry, we're a bit jazzy today, but I hope it's okay. We'll do, we still do for our music theory class. And of course, we'll start with less, because this is kind of, we're jumping between keys here, but doesn't matter. It's cool. This should go higher. No? Okay, sorry, that's kind of, okay, excellent. Let's go and work on this sound. Let's use oh, what?
Sorry, my Alexa.
Oh, okay, no worries. All good. Okay, sweet. Let's make a lead sound here. Let's use maybe kind of like something like noisy shapes. It's just the basic shapes. You can just add some noise distortion on them. Okay, already super cool. Let's do something with just yeah. Let's make it again with the LFO. We'll just use LFO1 on the pitch, maybe. Again, just want to
So
make
only
it...
a quick question. Sorry for interrupting
Yes,
you.
please.
So what is your thought process here? Like how? Okay, I know my thought process. Sometimes I just hear it in my head, but in your case, how do you go for choosing, for example, the wave, right?
The engine. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
good question. In this case, I need a lead sound. I'm trying to make a lead sound to play this kind of simple melody on top. So I definitely need it to be a tiny bit maybe brighter than the other sounds. So it's at least a tiny, it doesn't have to be completely bright, but just above the other sounds. I just, in this case, wanted to experiment. I knew that these ones are like the basic shapes ones. So I'm just experimenting and chose the noisy shapes for no particular reason. Although I did know, just being familiar with the synth, that it does have this noisy quality to it, although you can probably just guess by the name. So this was completely arbitrary. I just chose whatever felt like at the moment, but I didn't choose this special effects one because I knew I needed a basic sound here, although you can make also some cool sounds with like noise. You can, especially with effects, reverbs and stuff like that. So this was arbitrary, and then I did know I wanted some lo-fi quality to it, so I added this LFO on the pitch. Right, and this is without the LFO on the pitch. Okay, now let's do 0.5. That might be too much. That's so okay. Let's do 0.3. Nice. Now it's too bright. Right now it's too bright. Let's also add a filter. Maybe we'll add a filter. Again, let's like a filter with distortion and some with the same envelope as the volume. Here we go. Okay, so let's solve this. I like this, but it's kind of disappearing in the mix. So I'm gonna drive it, and also here. And what are we? Let's make it monophonic. And what are we forgetting? Our synth effects, okay? Maybe some more attack, right? Okay, we'll need some more extra sounds here, but this is one of the leads. So I'm gonna need to start filling in the gaps here between all of this. And let's try to fill in the gaps with talking about things we didn't talk about yet in the synth. Questions?
It's just an observation, but I really like how you sort of said that, I just noticed that you got a sound more or less to your liking, but like you said, the effects really bring it together, and I kind of just, that was a really great concept. So I just wanted to say that's really awesome.
Thank you. Yes, and hopefully it made the point of how important effects are. You don't have to use this effect. This is a great rack, but any plugins, whatever it is, they are essential to the sound. As you can see, it's a huge difference. Cool sound, but this will kind of be more production ready, as we would call it. And we can see that the first note is the longest, meaning it has the longest to go through the envelope. So that might be too much for us. Let's just make the envelope shorter. Or longer, and we'll just expand the notes a tiny bit. So I'm going to go under the transformation tools right here. We have a tool called span, and I'm just going to offset the length of the notes a tiny bit here. Nice, now I can turn it down. And then we'll need probably a second part to this melody, right? But right now we'll focus on one. Okay. I do want to mention a few things that are unique to this synth. There's a lot of stuff we already mentioned that are unique, but more stuff that are unique to this synth, okay?